You do have the ability to move markets with a tweet. Should any one man have that power?
How's it going, everyone? This is Daniel. In this video, we're going to be talking about Tesla stock. We're going to go over exactly why Tesla stock went down today. We're going to be talking about what to expect for Tesla stock moving forward. We're also going to be hearing from Elon Musk, him answering questions related to his ability to influence the stock market, the crypto market, and exactly what he thinks about the current state, about taxes, and COVID vaccines and etc. We can go over and watch this important interview that he gave recently, and we're also going to be talking about short-term price prediction for Tesla stock. So all this important information coming up. As you can see over here, Tesla stock today is down 4.98%. So yesterday we talked about that we are looking for this $1,000 price level to hold as a support, but unfortunately today we broke down and we sold slowly to the downside, and we are potentially going to be filling the gap that we have below around $950 to $900. Later on at the end of the video, we're going to be seeing a detailed breakdown of Tesla stock technical analysis, but as you can see, the short-term price action for Tesla is looking at is going to the downside even after hours were down a little bit. So when you look at, compared to what the overall stock market did today, we have some stocks that sold aggressively, more aggressive than Tesla stock. We have, let's say, for example, Nvidia, which is in the semiconductor sector, is down 6.79%. We have Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon. We have energy sector, financials that went down today significantly. Of course, Tesla being one of them is down 4.98%. We still have some companies, some sectors that did pretty good, like healthcare, and we have some good dividend paying stocks that also did pretty well. So moving forward, what to watch out for this upcoming week. On Wednesday, we have some important economic data that can significantly affect the stock market. So we have at 2:30 p.m. Federal Chair Jerome Powell is going to have a press conference. So he's going to be talking about, of course, interest rates and etc. So that can definitely affect the stock market. And last time that he had this kind of press conference, he mentioned some information about inflation, and that significantly affected the overall stock market. So people are expecting some form of volatility ahead of this meeting. So definitely keep an eye on the overall stock market for this week. In general, we might expect, extreme volatility, up and down up until the end of that press conference, So now let's go over and look at Elon Musk interview. So Elon Musk was chosen to be the person of the year for Time Magazine for the year of 2021. So in this interview, he got asked some important questions about his activity on Twitter, how he potentially affects, stock market, the crypto market. He got asked about, people not paying, billionaires not paying taxes enough. He got asked about, COVID vaccine. He got asked about his wife and his, does he have a girlfriend and things like that. So he got confronted about some really key issues that, in this video that he did, this interview that he did. So we're going to check out that interview, and then I'm going to come back. And then we're going to be looking at, what to expect for Tesla stock in the short term. We're going to be looking at the technical analysis. So let's check out this video.
Which living person do you most admire?
I admire anyone who is making a positive contribution to humanity, whether that is in entertainment or in technology, or, I think anyone who's sort of doing things that are really useful to the rest of humanity is, I admire them greatly.
Tesla has dragged the legacy automakers into the electric vehicle market.
Yeah.
Do companies like Ford, GM, Rivian, Lucid pose a threat to Tesla's dominance, or do you think you guys have so grasped the market at this point that you are going to own it?
Well, if somebody makes better cars than we do, then and they then sell more cars than we do, I think that's totally fine. Our intent with Tesla was always that we would serve as an example to the car industry, and that and hope that they also make electric cars so that we can accelerate the transition to sustainable energy. I'm confident in the future in Tesla that it will do well, and I hope some of these other companies do well too.
Are the cars safe? I mean, should I feel comfortable getting behind the wheel of a Tesla and saying, drive me where I need to go?
Well, the statistics that I think are at this point unequivocal that far more accidents off autopilot than on autopilot. So this is not to say that autopilot is perfect. Now, to get to full self-driving where you don't need to pay attention, we still obviously have a lot of work to do. So as we get to the point where interventions are extremely rare, even in complex traffic situations, and get to the point where the probability of injury with full self-driving is much lower than with a human driving, then obviously at that point it would make sense to allow the car to drive itself and not have to pay attention.
When it's time to pay taxes, new reporting from ProPublica says the nation's top 25 richest people pay little to nothing at all, including Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk.
You know, a lot of the push for higher government involvement and expropriation of assets by the government is really pushed by a bunch of politicians who are actually saying that resources shouldn't be in control of people, of private individuals. They should be in control of the government. They're basically saying they want control of the assets. I mean, I think in terms of things that people should perhaps get upset about is, like, I think getting upset about excess consumption is a thing to get upset about, but you know, if somebody's just wasting money on personal luxuries in a crazy way, you know, I'm not Warren Buffett's biggest fan, frankly, but you know, he sits there and he reads all these annual reports, which are super boring. Does anybody want that job? I think most people do not. I don't want that job. But like, he's not like engaged in like insane conspicuous consumption. So you have to say, like, okay, sure, he's got a high net worth, but he's doing a useful job for the economy, you know, and he's very skilled at it and should probably keep doing it.
You are, not to put too fine a point on it, the richest man in the history of the world and arguably the most influential. And yet you tweet freely and playfully and somewhat mischievously.
Yes, that's accurate.
So our feuds with policymakers are poking Jeff Bezos. Is that good for the overall brand?
Yeah, I don't really think about brand optimization, to be frank, as is obvious from my tweets, which are often self-inflicted wounds or humor that I find funny, but not necessarily that many other people find funny.
Right. You know, when you say take the red pill, do you worry about sending none too veiled?
I said take both pills.
Take both. Well, that's okay. All right. Well,
yeah.
But do you worry at all about activating, motivating the, you know, political fringe?
Yeah, actually, when I said take the red pill, I didn't realize that was some like politically charged phrase.
Right.
I was referring to the Matrix.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
you know, make sure you accept reality for what it is.
Right.
But then it turns out it's like also like some like accept right-wing dogma thing or something. I didn't realize that at the time.
You do have the ability to move markets with a tweet. Should any one man have that power?
Well, you know, the markets move themselves all the time, and so, you know, especially Tesla stock has seen some very big changes in value from one day to the next based on nothing, as far as I can tell. So, do statements that I make, are they materially different from random movements of the stock that might happen anyway? I don't think so. It's not like, you know, stock drops in half or something like that. Right. You know,
you've made statements downplaying COVID-19. You kept your factories open, running at the height of the pandemic. And
well, actually, technically, I think there's a misunderstanding there on the factories front.
Tell me about it.
So other car factories in the United States had restarted.
Right.
And we were blocked only because our car factories in the Bay Area and California. So California had actually said manufacturing can restart.
Right.
And then Alameda County decided of their own accord that Tesla could not restart.
Are you vaccinated, if I
may
ask?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very pro-vaccination.
Yeah.
I believe the science is unequivocal.
Yeah.
I tweeted to that effect. But by the same token, I am against forcing people to be vaccinated. You know, I think this is just not something we should do in America. I think we should encourage people to be vaccinated, strongly try to convince them to be vaccinated, but not force them to be vaccinated, or for example, force them to get vaccinated or get fired.
He is known as a big proponent of Dogecoin, and someone who has in the past taken Tesla's assets and invested those into Bitcoin, and then sold that Bitcoin at a profit.
Well, I mean, I could really sort of wax on about the nature of money for hours, because I played a significant role in creating PayPal. And so my understanding of the money system at a fundamental level of how it actually works, the detailed mechanics of it, is, I think, there are very few people that understand it better than me. Bitcoin is an interesting example, obviously the prime mover on this, but the transaction volume of Bitcoin is low, and the cost per transaction is high. It is at least at its base level, suitable for maybe an exchange, a store of value. But fundamentally, Bitcoin is not a good substitute for transactional currency.
Right.
And even though it was created as a silly joke, Dogecoin is better suited for transactions.
Why is that?
The total transaction flow that you can do with Dogecoin is substantially more than, like, transactions per day is much higher than, has much higher potential than Bitcoin. It is slightly inflationary, but that inflationary number is a fixed number as opposed to a percentage.
Right.
So that means over time, its percentage inflation actually decreases. And that's actually good because it encourages people to spend and rather than sort of hoard it as a store of value.
I'm going to switch to a personal question a little bit, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
So what happened with Grimes, and do you have a new girlfriend?
Oh,
Are you seeing
man.
someone new. I know, here we are with our
Here we
somewhat
go.
different approach.
Grimes and I said, like, semi-separated, it's just that her work has her just being in different places a lot versus my work.
Yeah.
We weren't seeing each other that much. Yeah, we're still good friends, and
Right.
I do not have a new girlfriend or anything.
Now, before we go over and look at the detailed technical analysis for Tesla stock, I'll really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel, turn on notification if you want to stay up to date on what's going on with Tesla stock. So we talk about Tesla daily in this channel. So as you can see over here, we have Tesla that broke down below $1,000. So this $1,000 was very key because it was holding very, very strong. The last time that we tested it more than 3 times, when we went below $1,000, the bulls came in and they bought it back. But unfortunately, today we broke down below $1,000 and we closed below $1,000. And the next price target that we're looking at for Tesla, if we can continue this sell-off that we're experiencing right now, it could potentially go and fill this gap right around over here. So today we're down more than 4%. So I'm assuming, some insiders or even Elon Musk might have sold. You never know. So we have to wait for the SEC filings to come out. But if he continues to sell, this week, we might potentially start to go down a little bit. Unfortunately, this $1,000 area, since we went below it, right now is going to be acting as a resistance, so we have to actually break out of this $1,000 area and close above it for this $1,000 area to be as a support. So right now, this area is definitely going to be the resistance price point over here. So we keep an eye on it in case, even if it breaks out in the next few days above $1,000, we might have, market volatility increase and Tesla stock, break out to the upside. You never know. But unfortunately right now, since we broke down below, it's more probable that Tesla stock might go, fill this gap below right around over here. So that's going to be for this video. If you have any questions, any comments, you should drop in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description box below if you want to get free stocks. But I catch you guys on another video. Have a wonderful day.